It was only a few days ago that we were all sitting here thinking the same thing. This NBA trade deadline's about to be so boring. And then Kyrie Irving, he starts doing Kyrie Irving things.
Ah, shit. Had to go again.
And today the NBA landscape looks a whole lot different than what it did just a few days ago. And there might still be more changes coming. It's the NBA coffee table. We talking about it. Grab your coffee. Let's go. So unless you've been out in the wilderness camping, I'm sure you've probably already heard Kyrie Irving is now a Dallas Maverick. What the? Breaking this down, Dallas got Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris in exchange for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and 3 picks. Now we're going to break it down from both sides, both the Dallas side of things and the Brooklyn side of things. But I also want to talk about the trade packages from other teams that Brooklyn decided not to take and to pass on. The first, of course, LA Lakers, right? This is where everybody thought Kyrie was going to end up. That's all you heard about. No other teams were apparently even involved. Kyrie was going to be a Laker. Now, the Lakers reportedly offered both their first round picks and Westbrook, along with maybe a package of other players. I know Medium fans were all for Lakers, but when I first heard Kyrie wanted to trade, I really didn't think the Lakers were the place that the Nets should trade him, just in terms of the best interest for the Nets. Most likely the offer was going to include Russell Westbrook, and there is, of course, a history between Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. We really don't know if they want to bring that back together, and I don't think the Nets were really interested in bringing those two back together. I don't think anything that the Lakers offered that involved Russell Westbrook, the Nets were going to be interested in. And really, beyond those 2 first-round picks, what other players would the Nets want? I mean, Lonnie Walker, he's a solid young player, but I don't think they're going to look at this and say, yeah, he's the one that we need to pair up with KD to be a championship contender. Pat Bev, no. I mean, even Austin Reeves and those type of guys, they really aren't what you need around KD to be a championship contender at the moment, which is what they want to be. I wasn't surprised that they passed on the Lakers offer, and has been reported that Nets owner had no interest whatsoever of sending him out to LA. No matter what the Lakers offered, I don't think the Nets were going to take it. The Suns were apparently involved, offering a package that revolved around CP3, right, Chris Paul, Jay Crowder, and a first and second round pick. And I heard this deal that the Suns offered up. I'm really surprised the Nets passed on it, actually. No, CP3 isn't the point guard that he was a couple years ago. Time has kind of started to get the better of him, but he's still a solid pickup. Jay Crowder hasn't played all year, but when he has played, as far as last year, he was a big contribution to the Suns. That was the best team in the league, looked like the best team in the league for most of the year. I was just a bit surprised that they passed on that. Maybe they wanted some younger players. I would have guessed they probably asked for maybe a Cam Johnson. Maybe they asked for Devin Booker, but I don't think they were getting Devin Booker. Just when you look at the trade packages and the package teams put together, I thought that might have been the best one that they could have gotten in return. When I first heard of Kyrie's trade request, the team came to mind right away for me was the Clippers. I thought the Clippers were going to get involved, offer a good package, and if I had to put money on it, I thought he was going to end up with the Clippers. They had some young talent, they had some picks, and apparently they did offer a package, but Nets passed on it. It is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Talking about it from the team standpoint, I'll start with the Dallas Mavericks. I think this is pretty simple from the Dallas standpoint. When we talked Dallas Maverick basketball, everybody's saying the same thing. Luka needs help. Luka needs another superstar. Luka can't do it all by himself, and they're right. Luka's usage rate is off the charts. It's the most in the NBA by a mile. The Mavericks have tried to get Luka that second player, from Jalen Brunson, who worked out well, but of course left to the Knicks, to Tim Hardaway Jr., to Spencer Dinwiddie, but to limited success. And they all knew, okay, we need somebody else. We need that second star to go along with our star to really make a run at this, to really run through the West and get to where they ultimately want to get to. I think the Dallas organization knew this, but when they looked at this and they looked at what was available this trade deadline, but also the summer coming up, where is that second star, that help, going to come from? There's really nobody out there that they can look at as another star and say, okay, I think that guy right there we can go after and he'll come play with Luka. I really don't see, even through the summer, through the off season, where's that star going to come from? And then all of a sudden, Kyrie Irving is available. This is our chance. They saw Kyrie there. He's up for grabs. This is our chance to pair another superstar with our superstar Luka. Everybody's saying Luka needs help. Luka needs somebody else. Here it is. They made it happen. Luka, Kyrie, two elite scorers in the NBA. Both guys can drop 40 to 50 on any given night, and now we've got it. I don't think Kyrie would have been their first choice if they were to have a choice of who they want playing with Luka, but he was who was available. I don't think they were going to get anybody else at that level of player. I don't think KD's coming. I don't think Lillard's coming. I don't think even DeRozan or Levine are coming. This was their chance. This is their swing at it. And they took it. That's the bottom line of it. Now I see websites and ESPN, they grade these trades and this was a C- and this team got a A-, B+. And I think for right now we don't know. This trade could end up being an A+ if the chemistry is right and all of a sudden teams realize, damn, we deal with Luka on this side and now we got to deal with Kyrie. Like, those are two elite guys that teams are going to have to deal with on a nightly basis. Or it might turn out to be the worst trade in history. Kyrie could come in and just not like playing with Luka. Kyrie pulls a Kyrie and doesn't want to play and he wants to leave. Not like something about the city, the team, the facilities, say some crazy stuff, get suspended. Who knows with Kyrie? It might turn into a disaster and be a first round exit and Kyrie doesn't re-sign. You lost your picks, you lost your second superstar, and if that happens, honestly, most likely you might lose Luka because now your help's gone, and who's going to want to stay there? He's going to see it's more of the same. I need to get out of here. So this is a huge risk that Dallas has taken. It might be a huge, horrible disaster. But Dallas now has two elite NBA scorers. There are not a lot of teams in the NBA that have that type of firepower. I mean, we saw what Luka could do with Jalen Brunson by his side. Kyrie Irving is better than Jalen Brunson. I mean, no shout out to Jalen Brunson. I think he should have been an all-star this year. He didn't quite get there, but I think he should have been. Kyrie is the better player. I know there's probably going to be some chemistry that they need to work out and just learning to play off each other, but if they can get that right, Dallas Mavericks got some firepower. Defensively, there's probably going to be some problems. I mean, they just gave up one of the best 3-and-D players in the league in Dorian Finney-Smith. Kyrie's not known to be the best defensive player in the league. But when you've got two of the best offensive weapons in the entire league on the same team, you've got a shot. If they can dial this in and get this right, I think the Western Conference has a new problem. Now, there's the whole issue of him re-signing in the summer and how that's going to go. That's a whole other issue that we'll see comes along. And from the Brooklyn Nets side of things, look, they picked up some really good players. They got one of the best 3-and-D players in Dorian Finney-Smith. Spencer Dinwiddie is a solid player, but they are in a stacked East. When you look at this roster, I mean, they've got Kevin Durant. He needs to get healthy, obviously. It's almost like they flipped the script. Now it looks like Kevin Durant is on this team where he's going to have to do some really heavy lifting in the same way Luka was on Dallas. Like, no disrespect to Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith and Claxton and Seth Curry, but they are all complementary players. Like, there is no other superstar on that team, and I'm including Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, solid defense, but you cannot rely on that guy offensively. He only takes like 5 shots a game now. Like, his confidence offensively is just gone, shattered. Like, if Ben Simmons is the second superstar you're dependent on to get you a championship, you in bad shape. When I look at this Nets roster and you've got KD and just a lot of complementary players, they're gonna have to go up against a stacked East in Boston sitting out there. They've got Embiid in Philly. They've got Giannis and the Bucks. I just don't think they've got what it takes to match up with those teams out East. That being said, there's reports that the Nets are not done making moves. More trades might be coming. They've got some picks to play with, but really, who else is out there? If the Chicago Bulls are deciding to blow it up, as some are reporting, and there's kind of this seesaw, yes they are, no they're not. Of course, calls will be made about DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, maybe Vucevic in there, Caruso. There's some players in there that the Nets will definitely, along with everybody else in the NBA, will be interested in. So I get the Nets were in a tough situation, but man, when I look at this roster, I just, like, honestly, KD's gonna have to pull a Luka. Like, you gonna have to do a whole lot of work to get your team past some of the juggernauts of the East.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Now looking at the NBA in a broad sense, is this the first domino that gets things falling? Looking at other teams that may be moving pieces in the NBA, I'm starting with Utah. I think Danny Ainge's mindset is we are either going to be competing for championships or we're going to be the worst team in the league. Obviously, the plan this season, in the beginning of the season, was to get that first overall pick. They were tanking, whether it be for Wembanyama or Scoot Henderson, but they wanted to be as bad as they could be. That obviously has not gone to plan. They are currently sitting 10th in the West as of today. That is a play-in spot, so they might be making the playoffs as it stands right now, but I think that they will start moving players around. Danny Ainge's original plan was to tank, and I think he will see that through. I don't think he cares about just sneaking into the playoffs. I think he comes from the mindset that middle of the pack is the worst place to be. I think he trades players off. Mike Conley Jr. is going to be somebody that a lot of teams are interested in. I could see him being traded. I think the Clippers are going to be one team that's going to be very interested in him. I think the Clippers are looking for a veteran point guard. They, of course, were in the KYRIE sweepstakes to some extent. Missed on him. If I had to place my bets, I think Mike Conley ends up getting traded, and I think he will land with the Clippers. I think Jordan Clarkson gets moved as well. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers will be a nice landing spot. You just got to figure out how that package is going to work. Miami Heat could use him, although Miami Heat will be looking for more of a big man. The other team that's been involved in trade rumors the past week has been Toronto. OG Anunoby has been shopped around, but they apparently want 3 first-round picks for him. Fred VanVleet's been on the trade block as well. I think a team like Miami might be interested in VanVleet. Maybe trade him off with like a Duncan Robinson and Lowry. I mentioned before the LA Clippers are looking for a point guard. VanVleet might fit that. Some other players looking to be moved. I mean, Eric Gordon's out in Houston, like desperately asking to go somewhere, anywhere. I think that dude just wants out of Houston. He's been there forever. There's rumors that Bones Highland is asking out of Denver, and Denver might be able to flip that for something that they need. I mean, they, of course, are looking to make a run for a title this year. I think they may be able to flip him for something they may need. Atlanta's on about year 3 of shopping John Collins. Honestly, don't even see that move happening anywhere. I don't think they're going to get in return what they want. His numbers have gone down. This is one of his worst seasons statistically that he's had in a couple years, and the return they're going to get, I don't think is what they're looking for. I don't think there's a trade out there that makes Atlanta a better team getting rid of Collins with what they'd bring in. Like, I don't think there's a player out there that they can trade for him and they say, okay, we're now in a better position. I think they are thinking, let's just keep him. We'll go into the summer, see what we can get. But I think they end up keeping Collins. He ain't never leaving. Lastly, Suns are still shopping around Jay Crowder. He hasn't played a minute this year. He's making like 10 mil. They're paying him to just sit around, go to the Maya Club. I would just call up the Spurs organization or Houston Rockets and just say, give me a number 2 at your snack bar. Give me a pizza and a medium Coke, and you can have Jay Crowder, because he ain't doing nothing for us. Trade that dude for a slice of pizza and a medium Sprite. So what do you guys think about this KYRIE trade and the NBA trade deadline in general? I mean, I think if they get the chemistry right, Dallas is a contender. That's right. I said what I said. Fight me in the comments. Peace.